So this is still Heroes of Might and Magic 5. And I'm still here, now in 2026, continuing on with the videos. Though this time, I'm going to do something different. Ever since I edited my last campaign video, there were some questions that popped up in my head in regards to that mission in particular, which I went ahead and attempted to answer in this video. So here are the main points that I wrote down and explored. I will also have chapters for this video so that it is easier for everyone to navigate through it. Anyhow, I think that's about enough for the intro, so let's get to the so-called limit testing. Now, even though this isn't really a complicated question to answer, I did not manage to do this during my regular playthrough, which is why I'm going to do this now. And since this is not a regular playthrough, plus some other tests will require it, I'm going to enable cheats. And with this, I'm going to give myself a very modest army to clear through anything in my way. There we go. Now let's get rid of everything else and split up the succubi. Perfect. Oh, and for context, the command accepts 3 arguments. The name of the target hero, the ID number of the creature type, and the amount that will be added. Then I also use this command to reset the movement points of Agrael. Number 7 is the ID number for the movement points stat, while the last number is the amount that you want to add. Do note that this does not exceed the max movement point limit, so it just resets it back to the maximum. Alright, let's go find those huts. The first one is right here, in the beginning. The second one was just slightly forward. The third one was near the first military outpost and next to the Minotaurs. The fourth one was next to the Horned Overseers. The fifth one is located a little bit more forward, slightly after the War Dancers. And the sixth and last one is across the hill fort, almost right at the end of the mission. By the way, I accidentally noticed that there is a traversable area right here, but there's absolutely nothing there. Alright. Anyhow, this is all you can get to see with all Huts of the Magi. Okay, so it looks like there are a few neutral stacks along the way that guard a bunch of treasure chests, as well as some stat-boosting adventure map objects here and there. Then there's a place where the path divides into 2 different paths, though one of them is still hidden behind the Fog of War. So the other one continues. There's a Horned Demon dwelling, a Hellhound dwelling, and some more neutral stacks sprinkled around. But other than that, that's about all we can get to see. Though this does not reveal everything, which brings me to the next point. For this, I'm actually going to go ahead and use another command to remove all Fog of War. And there we go. At this moment in time, I can just explain that the third number is 0 if it's the overworld, and 1 if it's the underground. The fourth number determines the amount that it removes, and the last argument is the player number, for whom the Fog of War will be cleared. And in this case, I'm player 1. Alright, now let's take a look at his path once more. So I'm not going to mention the same things that I already did while viewing this same path, as it was revealed by the Hut of the Magi. I'm mostly going to comment on the things that were hidden behind the Fog of War. So right near the beginning there's actually an imp dwelling. Now we actually get to see what was hidden behind the Fog of War, where the path divided into 2 ways. There's a military outpost, as well as a thingy that permanently increases knowledge. And then there's also a hill fort. And that's that. Let's move on to the next point. Alright, so now I'm just going to wait and see what he does during his turns before reaching Stephan at the mausoleum. So while I was playing through this mission normally, he reached Stephan right after week 2, day 2, which is 9 days. Damn, that's like almost no spare time to clear my entire side of the map. On day 1, he grabs a treasure chest and goes for the imp dwelling. Then he keeps moving on while only stopping at another treasure chest and an idol of fortune. On day 3, Veyer grabs another chest and goes for the military outpost, almost reaching it. So far, it looks like he's not taking any fights, but instead just grabbing the unguarded treasure chests. Wait, hold on. He did not have pit fiends in the final fight. That's interesting. Then he proceeds to repeat the same behavior, going for unguarded stuff along the way. But then he just began standing there without moving. What? He's supposed to reach Stephan on the next turn. And so he kept waiting, and waiting. Bro, it's already month 2. What are you doing? Stick to the script. But then suddenly, he decides to go back. What? And back he went, all the way to the imp dwelling, where he just stayed. Alright, hold on, could I be the one scaring him away with my 50,000 succubus mistresses? Let me walk back to see if this solves the issue. And he moved, alright, good. As well as he went beyond his previous stopping point. Okay, let's do that again, but properly this time. So day 1 and day 2 is the same, nothing changes. Though on day 3 he avoids the military outpost and just goes for the treasure chest. On day 4 he just keeps moving forward. Day 5 is also him moving forward, but he also picks up the gold pile near the Hellhound dwelling. And all he does after this is just march towards Stephan. Which leads to losing the mission after month 1, week 2, day 2. It's also interesting how he did not take a single fight during his turns, nor did he visit all of the dwellings and adventure map objects along his path, which kind of leads me to question as to why they are there in the first place. Though maybe something changes when playing on other difficulties. So, let's take a look, shall we? Let's continue on with the difficulty hard. So basically day 1 is the same as heroic. Though on day 2, Veyer actually takes his first fight. Interesting. On day 3, he takes another fight, as well as goes after a different treasure chest. Day 4 has nothing special, while day 5 has another fight. Over the course of the rest of Veyer's turns, he takes 2 more fights and reaches Stephan at the same time as on heroic. Month 1, week 2, day 2. Though it's interesting that even though he takes some fights, he does not really take anything that the neutral stacks were guarding. Alright, next up is normal. On this difficulty, Veyer seems to be going after the same goals and fights as in hard. However, his tempo is noticeably slower, as he does not travel that far each turn. Though it doesn't seem like his movement points are reduced here, because for example on day 6 he does travel the normal distance. Well, at least more than other days. He also decided to pick up a guarded treasure chest after the fight on day 9, though he ignored the other one next to it, which is kind of interesting. And on normal, Veyer reaches Stephan on month 1, week 2, day 7, which is 5 days later than on heroic and hard. Okay, last but not least, easy. And here, Veyer has the same goals as in hard and normal, while being a perfect example as for what taking your sweet time means, as he moves very short distances each day. This of course causes him to reach Stephan quite later, but before that, take a look at what happens on his last turn. He does not quote-unquote kill Stephan, yet still the mission ends, which is not what happens on other difficulties. Well, at least judging by the fact that Stephan disappears. Anyhow, the mission ends on month 1, week 3, day 4, which is 4 days later than normal, and 9 days later than on heroic and hard. And here are all of the times when Veyer reaches Stephan, as well as how many days it took on all difficulties. There are also some interesting things to note about Veyer's behavior from these 4 tests. Most notably that he never goes for the Inferno military outpost, the Hellhound dwelling, or the hill fort. On the other hand, he does always go for the Imp dwelling right at the beginning. Now, this could be explained by the fact that he might not have enough gold, however, he does go for quite a few treasure chests, and sometimes even a gold pile. Unless of course he picks experience in those treasure chests instead of gold. With that being said, my previously raised question still stands about the point of the other stuff on Veyer's path, that he just never goes after, as it serves absolutely no purpose whatsoever, unless it's just for aesthetic purposes. But enough of this, let's get on with the next point. So this is an interesting question that I decided to try and answer, though something that could be previously observed during topic 3 kind of hints to the fact that this could be impossible to achieve, but this did not stop me from trying. So initially, I just wanted to give Stephan some additional units with a command to ensure that he wins the battle against Veyer. As previously stated, the command for giving units requires you to specify the name of the hero to add them to. But the game does not recognize the name Stephan, as well as there is no Stephan mentioned in the hero name chart. Because of this, I double-checked his hero portrait and referred to the hero name that goes with that portrait, by default, which in this case was Laszlo. After finding Laszlo in the name chart, I saw that I can refer to him as Mardigo. And after executing the command, I had successfully given him a decent number of archangels. Perfect. Alright, now let's end the turn and see what Hey, where are you going? Something tells me that I might have frightened Veyer away with the 10,000 archangels. I guess I have to try something else. Okay, plan B. Let's try to increase the stats of Stephan by an absurd amount so that he can win without having a huge army. First things first, let's remove the angels. Good. And next I will try to check if this is possible. Okay, so now I have 6 attack, but after I run the command with, let's say 100, okay, I have 106. Which means that it adds to my current attack skill count. And if I write minus, then it will remove it. Nice. So let's just give Stephan here some attack and then defense. And now let's see what happens. Alright. Hold on, let's see if it actually worked. I mean, like, Stephan has 10,000 attack and defense. And, oh wow, just look at that damage from the 12,000 Succubi Mistresses. Let's see how much damage he's going to do. And alright, half of the stack gets killed. And wow, 172,000 damage. Though it's important to note that hero damage is not affected by this, as calculations for that do not include attack or defense. So maybe Veyer just took him out with basic attacks? Somehow? Let's try and give Stephan some squires to see if that changes anything. I broke Veyer again. Maybe I need to give him some units as well for confidence, but not too much to give him an advantage. So Veyer is not in the hero chart, but there are 2 heroes with the same portrait. Let's try Nebiros. Okay, not it. How about just Veyer? Aha, that worked. So I give him 1000 imps. And, okay, he still won. So then I decided to give Stephan 100 paladins, and then Veyer 1000 succubi. After which I increased the attack and defense stats of Stephan even more. And even that was not enough. Like, I even tried removing all Veyer's units, except for the succubi stack. Then I tried attacking again, and like, this is absolutely impossible to beat, even with my army. Something just isn't right here. After comparing 2 screenshots that showed Veyer's army before and after the fight, it seems as if he quote-unquote wins every time and loses only a portion of his army. This could be compared with visiting a siren, or something along those lines. So I assume that there is some kind of script responsible for this, and that in reality there's no fight going on. With that being said, this question sadly remains unanswered. Alright, so I loaded to a point where Veyer is back at the very beginning of his path, and I'm going to attack Stephan. So right as Stephan is about to approach me, it can be seen that Veyer actually gets teleported near the mausoleum from where he is about to approach me, which means that the mission should end normally. Okay, so the cutscene appears, and after it I get attacked by Veyer. So basically nothing special happens. Now, as you should know by now, there is a trigger point for a script right before reaching Stephan, which causes the following things to happen. Agriel stops in his place, Veyer gets teleported near the mausoleum, and Stephan charges Agriel. Oh, and of course, the cutscene appears before fighting Stephan. And it's not just one single spot, it's made so that you can't get around it no matter what. But what if you teleport past this point? Okay, as you can see, I'm allowed to traverse the area freely. However, getting too close to Stephan is a big no-no, because it removes Agriel from existence and automatically ends the mission, as if you lost. And it's not just one point, it's like an area around Stephan, just like the intended script that I previously mentioned. And by the looks of things, I'm pretty sure that this is the same thing that Veyer triggers when he reaches Stephan. Though I cannot explain as to why Stephan disappears in most cases, but in one he does not. Perhaps it's a bug with the script or whatever else it might be. But then again, whenever Veyer makes Stephan disappear, he manages to actually reach the mausoleum, meaning that he gets past the stopping point. So I'm not really sure what's up with that. So in order to even do something like this, I will have to somehow get to Veyer, which is accomplishable with the Adventure Teleport cheat, which I already used previously. And in order to use it, you need to set a keybind for it beforehand. And just like that, I'm next to Veyer. You weren't expecting this one, weren't you? One by one his unit stacks go down, and as I'm about to finish off the last one, the final cutscene plays. After which, the mission ends. Okay, now this means that the successful mission end trigger is tied to the battle with Veyer, and not the mausoleum that you have to reach. Now, the last point is closely tied to the previous one, as well as it is something that was mentioned in the comments of the campaign playthrough video for this mission. So, in short, it actually is possible to win the mission without beating Veyer, which is accomplished with a mission-specific script that is tied to the fight with Veyer. This also explains the weird phenomena that I previously encountered, with Veyer not losing after I killed off all his non-summoned unit stacks, because the combat does not end as usual due to the fact that something is modified. Anyhow, here's the demonstration of this point. And as you can see, just as I'm about to lose my only unit stack, the final cutscene appears. Anyways, that is going to do it for this one. As I said in the beginning of this video, this is something new that I decided to try out. So I would like to hear your opinions on it down in the comments. As well as if there are some burning questions or other interesting things that you would like to see me cover in a similar manner for either this or other scenarios, make sure to comment them down below as well. I hope you had a great New Year's Eve, and just in case you missed it, I wrote down a few end of year comments in a separate post that were supposed to be in this video, if it would have come out earlier. Again, I'm really happy to have this community of people having conversations in the comments of my videos. It really means the world. As well as, I really love reading the memories that you all share that my videos somehow made you remember, which puts a smile on my face every time. But anyhow, thank you if you have made it this far, and I hope that you enjoyed.